Welcome to the Kolbecast, episode 311. Thank you for joining us. Today we combine a college visit with an alumnae meetup when Kolbe graduates and Belmont Abbey students Hannah Feeney and Lily Robinson join Bonnie and I on the Kolbecast. Hannah and Lily give us a virtual tour of this Newman Guide College in North Carolina and share their experiences of their life there. We also reminisce on their Kolbe days and talk about how their Kolbe experience prepared them well for their life as students after graduation. We hope that you enjoyed the show.
Hi there, I'm Bonnie, Kolbe homeschooling mom of 4 lads and lasses, liturgical musician, popcorn, and podcast fanatic.
And this is Stephen, homeschooling father of 5 and director of development for Kolbe Academy.
Hi, Stephen, how are you?
Doing well. Excited to take a little college visit today.
Yeah. Today we are catching up with 2 Kolbe Academy alumnae who are students at Belmont Abbey College. We're eager to hear about their Kolbe experience and hear what they're up to now, and also the aspects of Belmont Abbey College, which is one of Kolbe's college partners, that led to their decision to be students there. So Lily Robinson is making her Kolbecast debut, and Hannah Feeney was part of the conversation on episode 93. So it's been quite a while. Hello, you two, and welcome.
Hello, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you guys here and get to visit with you a little bit. Lily, we're going to start with you. Tell us a bit about yourself and your background, your Kolbe connection, and all that sort of stuff.
Alrighty. I was actually homeschooled for the very longest time, right before Kolbe, and I started out taking classes, like 1 or 2 online math classes at Kolbe, and I finally transitioned in high school, which was like the best decision of my entire life.
Oh, okay.
Kolbe has really prepared me in so many different ways for college with its rigorous curriculum and with a great community. I will say that before Kolbe, while I was homeschooled, I grew up in a family where everybody was so much older than me. So I was adopted, and all my brothers and sisters are so much older and pretty much out of the house. So I really didn't have that much of a community. So what Kolbe did for me was to bring into this community that's especially centered around like-minded people with a common faith, and it really brought a lot of joy into my life. It was a great experience, honestly.
I'm very glad to hear that. That's wonderful. Okay, I'm going to ask you some more questions about your homeschool days and memories from that. So Hannah, though, I'm going to catch up with Hannah a little bit. Episode 93 was quite a while ago. So how have you been since then? And let's get reacquainted with you. Tell us a bit about yourself and your Kolbe connection and things like that.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I honestly had forgotten about doing the Kolbecast entirely until I got the email about doing this. But it's great to be back. I'm a junior now at Belmont Abbey, which means it's probably been 4 or 5 years since that Kolbecast episode. But junior at Belmont Abbey, I'm studying theology and great books here and getting a classical languages minor. So I think you can already see the Kolbe preparation for doing all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was homeschooled my whole life and then started taking some online Kolbe classes in high school. And I only took a handful of online classes, but also did quite a few clubs. So kind of like similar to Lily, I enjoyed getting a community through Kolbe, and it wasn't just taking classes, but got to meet other people from around the country. And I'm still running into random people who went to Kolbe. I was like, wait, you did Kolbe too. It's just funny to still be making those connections.
That's neat. Lily, where are you? Whereabouts are you in your time at Belmont Abbey? Like, what year are you? What are you studying? Things like that.
I am actually a freshman here, so I graduated from Kolbe just last year.
Okay.
I'm kind of like Hannah. Kolbe just instilled in me this great love of the classics, and I'm going down the majoring in great books and hoping to possibly go through a 4+1 master's program and maybe one day get my master's in liberal and classical education. And who knows, I might end up at Kolbe one day.
Wonderful. That would be great. So let's go back to your homeschool days, both of you. I want to hear a little bit about that because I think that's always interesting. It's neat to hear for folks who are in it currently and folks reminiscing as well. Lily, what did you like to do when you weren't doing schoolwork?
I loved just reading in general, even outside of school. So it really tailored to a lot of my interest. Um, Also, I'm not a very artsy person, and I claim that I can't really draw very well or anything, but I really got into a lot of painting and kind of arts and crafts. And yeah.
Nice. What did a typical school day look like or week toward the end of your homeschool time?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a very good question. I would enjoy kind of sleeping in a little bit. I love the times of classes that Kolbe had, which was very, very nice. And so I would enjoy sleeping in a little bit. Um, but then I would have plenty of time, the way they set up and schedule their classes, to get all my studying and homework done before other certain classes. And I'd be able to, just prepare for that and to attend those classes and then go out and have time to enjoy other activities like going out for a walk, getting my daily exercise in, which you might need a little bit of when you're taking online classes and you're sitting a lot. So I really enjoyed that it was kind of flexible in that way, that I was able to get out there and do, volleyball. I played a lot of volleyball actually at my local rec center. So just able to enjoy this great experience, but have local stuff around in which I was able to get out there a little bit more, if that makes sense.
Sure. So did you grow up in a pretty urban area, or was it more either suburban or rural? Was there a significant homeschooling community or folks that you could join in? The rec center is a great whole cross section of folks, but were there other opportunities like that, or was it pretty less so?
Ooh, yeah, it was a little bit less so. I'm actually from a very small town
Okay.
here in North Carolina, and most people go where? And I have to like tell them the nearest biggest city when I tell them that. But honestly, what I was able to do was amazing with it. Yeah.
Good deal. And so even thinking back, even before your online homeschool days, just your whole homeschool, are there any particular memories that really stand out? Any particular highs, lows, or things that when you are asked about being homeschooled, what comes to mind?
Just the freedom and being, it being nice being at home and being able to eat a snack whenever you want, or
Sure.
to just, you know, um, enjoy the comforts of your family while also being able to engage in this rigorous kind of education. Um, a low, the community is definitely much more difficult to have and to engage in when you're just especially if like you don't have any like brothers and sisters in which to hang out with.
Yeah.
So that might be a little bit of low, but in the end, I think it's all worth it for the education that you receive, for the goodness, it's all worth it in the end.
It makes me think of the homeschooling experience as you're talking about. I think like, yeah, that might be hard to describe at times because it's just kind of like life. It's
Right.
just, it's like, what do you mean? This is just what we do. It's we're at
Yeah,
home.
yeah,
There's schooling. There's not with the classes. You get a little bit more of a here's an official start time. Here's the finals. Here's the end. But otherwise, everything kind of blends together
yeah,
over the
Yeah.
months.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. Okay, Hannah, it's been a few years now that you're several years into your college experience. So what do you remember of your school days as a homeschool student? What remember at this point? What's it like thinking back on that time?
Oh boy. Well, I really enjoyed my time being homeschooled. I remember my mom was she's a very organized person, so like as much as we were homeschooled, she also set up boundaries and parameters for doing school to make sure stuff got done. Because otherwise, God knows, my siblings and I would never have gotten anything done. Um, so she was, we had a wake up time in the morning when we got up.
Okay.
The bright early hour of 6:30 a.m. We would get up and then start getting on with our day. And it was just, you kind of just did school until you were done with it. I had some online classes sprinkled throughout the day. Um, Sometimes we were doing homework into the late hours of the night. Less, I mean, the curriculum is rigorous and there's a lot to do, but I think it was more so because when you're at home with five siblings, four of which are younger than you, there's the inevitable distractions. The 10-year-old's done, or like the 10-year-old and the 4-year-old are done with their schoolwork, so they decide it's time for you to go play with them.
Sure.
And then like half an hour later, you remember, oh wait, I should be reading history right now. Um, so there was a lot of kind of like you were saying, Stephen, just life was moving and overlapping. I would like ebb and flow from school to just doing stuff around the house. We had friends and volunteer stuff at our parish that we would do. So it was just kind of just a cycle of life. And like homeschool was just a part of that.
Sure. Well, that kind of, you probably just answered the question I was going to ask you next is kind of what sorts of things did you like to do when not doing schoolwork?
Yeah. I also, like Lily, enjoyed reading outside of classes anyway. Um, but my family was also blessed to have like forest in our backyard. So, which was a huge godsend during COVID, especially. But I just grew up like spending time outside in the woods,
Hmm.
playing with my siblings. There was a lot of um, just interacting with my siblings, playing games with them. We would do like local sports things. They were like there was a soccer club at some point. A local homeschool community set up like a one day, once a week, we would do get together and play tennis, pickleball. We played pickleball before it was cool. Um, back when no one knew that it existed. Um, and then we started doing volunteer with different things at our parish. Like my brother and sister and I sang, or we would help teach faith formation, stuff like that. So
Neat. Do you come from a sort of urban area or less densely populated?
I'd say it was somewhere in between.
Okay.
It was, we were in between two cities, but definitely not really huge cities. The town I grew up in, Indiana, um, is probably a fifth of the size of South Bend, where my family now lives. So, definitely smaller town, but and there were like farm communities, so it's some places it felt way more rural, but like certainly not in the middle of nowhere.
Okay. All right. And then any particular standout memories, similar to how I asked Lily, highs, lows,
Mm.
or funny moments, or just whatever stand out?
This is less of a particular moment as just a a theme of being homeschooled that stands out. Um, just being able to be at home and having family interactions all day. Definitely a blessing and a curse at times, because it meant that I was so much closer with my siblings than I would have if I had gone to a public school and been away from my siblings and my parents all day. But it also means you spend not just like 5 or 6, but 24 hours a day with the same people. Um, and just being an older sister, sometimes you, when you're at home, you are not just doing your own schoolwork, but you're also helping out with teaching the younger siblings, which I definitely a hallmark in my mind of being homeschooled. Was it just you doing it alone? But I think it's funny how that's one of the criticisms of it is like you don't have a community, but like you very much do. It's at home and you're not doing it on your own because you had siblings and parents doing it with you. And we certainly had a homeschool community outside of that. But so
Yep. I think you characterize that quite well, Stephen, how it's like this is how life, I mean, it's hard to if you haven't kind of, I mean, this is what we know, right? So it's hard to,
Yeah.
you only have sort of an idea of what other day to day is like. So that's true. It's a good point. So
Yeah, I was being from public school myself, but a long time ago. It was there was always like, oh, that the fourth grade year, that's the year I had this teacher, and these things happened, and then the next year, it's I'm in this different classroom, and it's with this teacher and these people. So there's all of these like clear divisions, but yeah, all of my kids are homeschooled, so yeah, it's just kind of blended together for over the last 20 plus years, I guess.
yep, very true. Okay, so, yep. Well, y'all are good sports to answer the same question phrased several different ways over and over. Thank you for doing that. Okay, so Belmont Abbey College near Charlotte, North Carolina. Lily, what drew you to that school? Were you familiar with it growing up, being from sort of near there, or how did you come to hear about it, and what made you decide to go there?
Ooh, this is a loaded question. There are actually so
Okay.
many different things. When I first, I am very familiar with it, and I live about like 45 so minutes away from here, actually. So pretty close. And my older brother actually graduated from here a while ago, and he has all of these stories and all these fun memories. So I love their Abbey players and plays because for the past several years before actually deciding to commit and go to here, my family and I would go up here and we would go watch the plays that they would put on. They do such a wonderful job. I absolutely adore going to those. So we would come up here for the longest time, and I'm originally from small town. So what drew me is sort of like this small community, this small town kind of community. And because I was formed by Kolbe, and because I love my faith, and I love the classical studies that I have been going through, the honors college that they offer here at Belmont Abbey, it's a smaller group of students, but it's a very closer knit kind of community, and it's like centered and focused on this love of the great books. And I'm like, this is me, absolutely. And so I was all in, absolutely.
Okay. Good deal. What about you, Hannah?
Yeah, so I grew up very far from Belmont Abbey, being from Indiana. But I first found out about Belmont Abbey through two different avenues. My mom had a subscription to the First Things magazine.
Hmm.
I saw an ad for the Honors College on the back of that. And I was reading through like the list of books that they read, and I was like, this sounds a lot like Colby's classical curriculum. So that's what
Yeah.
first put it on my radar. And then later on into my senior year, heading into my senior year, I was thinking about what I wanted to go to college for, and I was pretty certain that I wanted to study theology. So I really that narrowed my college search down to the Newman guide largely. Belmont Abbey was on there too. And the further I went in the college application process, the more I realized that yes, I wanted to do theology, but I also didn't realize how much I valued the classical education and reading the great books all the time until I went and visited the honors college and was we had got to sit in a on a mock seminar. Well, not a mock seminar. It was very much a seminar as part of the visit that we got to participate in. And we had to read like a Cicero text and a Willa Cather short story to prepare for this. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I'm not done reading things like the Odyssey, the Aeneid, Saint Augustine, and I just
Yeah.
wanted to keep doing
Hmm.
doing more stuff like this. So Kolbe definitely influenced my decision to come to Belmont Abbey in a huge way.
Okay. So what's a typical day look like for you now, or maybe a week?
Definitely one of the adjustments was having to go to classes physically, which wasn't as hard as I thought it would be from doing online classes. So I was used to having a certain time to be at classes, but just the accountability of getting myself to a certain spot at a certain time. I remember having a nightmare the day before my first day of classes as freshman year that I couldn't find my classroom for my Latin class,
Oh, yeah.
which never became reality, thank God. But yeah, so I usually have about 5 or 6 classes a semester, a lot of reading and writing, and I somehow managed to balance that with adding different activities. I just besides hanging out with my friends, I am involved with working as a tour guide and helping out in the admissions office here. And then Lily mentioned the Abbey Players. I've gotten involved with them in the last couple of years. So doing theater has been a new experience for me, but it's so much fun. So that's typical semester involves like classes, but then also making time for those things. And then definitely very involved in sacraments. We have an adoration chapel here, so usually sign up for an adoration hour every semester. So it's a lot to balance, but I think it's been a good experience.
Like you've worked it out well.
The way Kolbe does their online classes, it's more like a college schedule in many ways, where you're spending an hour and a half to 2.5 hours or 3 hours or whatever a week,
Yeah.
in class, and then it's all the other stuff. It's the paper writing, it's the reading, it's the stuff is
Right.
outside of class to balance. So at least that always strikes me when I watch my kids do that. It's kind of like, oh, this is
Yeah.
more similar to a college experience than like my brick and mortar public school experience was, certainly. But it's interesting.
Yeah. I was surprised at how little adjustment I needed in that regard. So
Okay, Lily, what's a typical week look like for you?
Okay, this is going to take a minute to
Sure.
kind of explore this, but I will say that Hannah mentioned, the availability of the sacraments, and that's one of the things that I absolutely love about here is that they are just so available. The Adoration Chapel is like opened from like Monday through Thursday, almost all day until like 8 o'clock. They have mass at like 11 o'clock, and coming from like a Benedictine school, an abbey, where our one of the mottos of the Benedictines is "Ora et labora," this pray and this work, this idea of a balanced kind of life. You have your prayer, you have your exercise, you have your studies, you have like all of this, and to become like a more well-rounded person. And so throughout the week, it's just truly beautiful that they have all these classes, and you are getting that experience of learning and growing as a person in your education, and expanding your mind, delving into these deep truths that we all love. And we know that, pursuit of truth is pursuit of Christ, but then also being able to have that ability to go to mass every day, ability to go to adoration every day, to get that spiritual kind of fuel, to be able to have other things like Hannah said, the Abbey Players, the clubs, the various different clubs they have, whether that's like the newspaper club or I don't know, the board games. We like every other week, a group of me and a group of other people, we have like this board game night, which is a whole lot of fun. So it's just like this great balance that I've found to be really, truly fruitful throughout.
Sounds good. Did you two know each other before you got to Belmont Abbey? Did you connect through Kolbe at all? Probably, maybe not with the difference in age.
no, I remember when we got the email a couple weeks ago. I was like, I had met Lily here, but I was like, oh, I didn't know she had done Kolbe. So it was really cool to make that connection.
Yeah, it was very cool, and especially because you don't expect like to see that coming out from graduating, I mean. But it was so cool because I remember Hannah was the leader in my orientation group this past year, and I'm like, wow, I met her and I didn't
Oh,
even
that's
realize
fun.
Yeah.
this great fact.
We need to start manufacturing Kolbe t-shirts, or like, working with our college partners here, like Belmont Abbey, Kolbe Academy. So we can, first week of school,
Yeah.
you can go around and identify all of your,
That's
Right.
like, oh,
Yeah.
you got a similar
Former
background.
Kolbe student.
Yes. Yeah.
Does it come up much that you all are homeschooled in your conversations now? Is it really a thing or not so much?
It used to be. I remember my freshman year talking with a lot of my classmates in the honors college. We would have several long discussions about different types of schools and like public versus private versus homeschool. I definitely wasn't alone in being homeschooled. So I have a lot of friends who are also homeschooled. Um, by and large, though, if I tell people that I was homeschooled, the reaction is kind of a combination of, whoa, it's either, whoa, I wouldn't expect that of you, or that makes so much sense.
Huh.
So two very different reactions. Um, but yeah, I remember having long conversations with my friends in freshman year about like comparing the education we had, like the different types of um different types of experiences we had, even comparing homeschool education. And yeah, so that was just a hallmark of freshman year, which that's less so going forward just because
Yeah.
now we're just friends and it's not as much of a background. Who are you? How'd you get here? Conversation.
Sure. Makes sense during that
Um,
more transitional time. And now you're more settled into this next
right.
time. What about for you, Lily? Is it still much of a big point of connection, or does it come up a lot, or not so much?
It's funny because it's kind of similar to how Hannah said it. It kind of came up a little bit at the very beginning of the year. And it's funny too because it was also kind of the same way. Wait, you were homeschooled? Like, they expect homeschoolers to be kind of a little more on the socially awkward kind of side or that sort of thing. But it's really funny because it actually hasn't very much. And I think Kolbe did a lot actually to help with that sort of thing. And yeah, we're all like united and connected by this love that we are sharing and pursuing this classical education, and it's just great.
Good deal. Well, Hannah, if a Kolbe student were to come to the admissions office, make contact with you, and be exploring the possibility of coming to Belmont Abbey, what kinds of things would you tell them? What would they kind of recognize and come be able to expect if they were to become students at Belmont Abbey?
I think especially the honors college at Belmont Abbey, but even so, Belmont Abbey in general is a vibrant community where the focus is serving Christ and just discovering truth. I think one of the amazing things about Belmont Abbey is it's okay, two things. Just the size of the school, it's so small. Not in a really like just it's not too small where you know absolutely everyone, but you're still meeting new faces, but you also recognize people, even people who are in different academic programs, and that really adds to the sense of community here at the Abbey. And the second thing is the professors absolutely love what they're teaching, which is infectious and then makes you want to learn more. So it's just this really faithful Catholic college with a true focus on learning. And I think it was the perfect next step after Kolbe to go from being homeschooled to then making a step out into the world. Not that being homeschooled is isolated from the world, but just next step in the future. It was the perfect transition point for me.
Okay. Lily, do you have anything to add to that about what a Kolbe student might like about coming to Belmont Abbey after having been a Kolbe student?
Anna said it so well that I'm like trying
Sure.
to figure
Sure,
out
that's right.
what I could
Okay.
add to it. But definitely, like I will say a little more particularly in the honors college, it's small enough where you get to really know your professors. At like a larger kind of college, you might not be able to really get to have that experience of getting to know your professors and them getting to know you and really seeing where you are at and what you need and being there on that sort of level to help you grow in the ways that you need to. And this is the same way with your classmates, like in smaller kind of seminar style classrooms, you're able to build those closer knit friendships in a way that you truly wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. and just in general, it being a kind of, and I guess I'm a little biased because I'm from a small town, but I love that close-knit community, and uh, anywhere that you felt like you were missing any sort of community, whatever, in being homeschooled, this is a really great choice and making up for that.
Does sound like kind of an interesting size. I mean, I think I was reading there's like 1,700 students or so at Belmont Abbey. But my first college was Thomas Aquinas College way back in the day, and my graduating class was 37 people. Um, so there was only like now there's like 400 students or so at each campus, or 300 or 450 somewhere in there. But and I also attended a small like state school back in Wisconsin that had 6,000 people, but which you can't know 6,000 people then, but it seems like with the smaller colleges like the honors college, and you've got a big group of people, kind of 1,700 is a lot of people, but people you're going to run into more. It seems like you have both the small field without feeling like you're in a fishbowl, and you only see the same people every day. But
Right.
It's kind of like Stephen said, in that perfect sweet spot where you get to know people and it's amazing, but then it's not like that local, oh, I'm sitting next to church and this old lady knows me and they're gossiping and everything, like that sort of thing where you're on your tippy toes about worrying about every single thing that you're doing. It's really the perfect sweet spot.
It does sound good. If students come to check out Belmont Abbey, are there sites on campus or particular aspects that, Hannah, as a guide there, that you would be sure to show them, or that they should be on the lookout for, that sort of thing?
Well, I would definitely mention the Adoration Chapel and the Basilica. Um, Adoration Chapel it's got glass walls and is tucked into this corner of the woods. So it's this really nice spot for just quiet prayer time. And you can't miss the Basilica. It's right up front. You get off 85 and it's right there looming up outside the exit. So those are two places that I would recommend. But even just off campus in local Belmont, there's lots of fun things to do. It's a lovely downtown. There's amazing coffee shops. So there's fun things to do off campus as well.
Very nice.
I'm a little curious. So I mean, because again, my first experience, Thomas Aquinas College, we're out away from a town, so you had to drive to get to town or to do any of those things. Are you part of a town there where you can just walk to places, or is it more remote? Or
It's not as easily, it's not super walkable, but well, once you get to downtown, it's very walkable. That's like we're about a mile or two from downtown Belmont. So definitely within an urban area, people live around here. We're only about, on a good day with good traffic, we're about 20 minutes from Charlotte, but Charlotte also has horrible traffic most of the time. So usually
yeah,
it's taking you at least half an hour to get there. So we're kind of close to the town. So it's not like we're out in the middle of nowhere. And there's a good number of students who are commute as well. So lots of students do live on campus in the dorms. And outside of freshman dorms, it's all the classes are mixed together. So like, I mean, they're separated in guys and girls dorms, but like I'm in a dorm with anywhere from seniors to sophomores. So you get to interact with a lot of different people. Like I've made friends just from being on the same floor with them, and you run into each other every day going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
nice. How's the food?
It has gotten better in the last semester.
Okay.
We've had some reshuffling things over the last years of we had some dining hall renovations. We've gotten a new head chef.
I know that's kind of a loaded question as well, because like when I went to college, I was coming from public school and eating
Right.
public school food, so I was just in heaven. And all my
Yeah,
classmates were like, "Oh, this is that." So
I
there's
know. It's also, I get that question on tours sometimes, and it feels like having a loaded gun pointed at you because it's like I can't tell you everything because my job is to get you to come here, not scare you away.
Well, how about for folks who have like variety of dietary needs or restrictions or so forth? Does it work out? How are they able to do in that respect?
Yeah. They find ways to work around it. They have most of the regular stuff on the line is there's running the risk of cross-contamination, but you can request if you have allergies, they'll make your food separately for you. So they do have ways of doing it.
Okay.
I'm asking all the hard questions here.
That's
Good.
okay.
Someone's got to.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, I will say, in the respect of dietary needs, I think they're very accommodating. I have a friend in my freshman class who, poor soul, has like a ton of different allergies, and they do all they can to make your food separately, and you go up and receive it, and they allow you to fill out like this. I think it's kind of form where the different kind of foods you can eat or the ones that you want to eat, and I think in that respect, they are very accommodating.
mhm.
Good deal.
Right.
I've been seeing lots of news articles coming out about cool things happening there with, especially with the 250th anniversary of the United States. There's a neat thing happening with opportunities in Washington, D.C. and partnerships happening with medical colleges. Lots of good stuff happening, looks like there. Yeah.
I was actually just in DC for Easter visiting my brother who goes to Catholic University of America, but I got to meet up with some of my classmates who are doing the semester in DC.
Nice.
So
Nice.
that was really fun.
Yeah. Okay, well, what do you have in the way of words of wisdom for current Kolbe high school students, maybe especially in the sort of the earlier years when they're in those Greek and Roman years? What would you say to them?
This is a very practical piece of advice, but don't let your reading run away from you because there is a lot of it and it's all very good and you don't want to have to miss any of it. So learn to time manage and stay on top of your reading. Um, but besides the practical side of get your work done, there's also enjoy it because it is truly a unique experience to get a high school education that is immersed in this ancient heritage of reading, like the Iliad, the Odyssey, the Aeneid, Greek histories. I still think you will, it's surprising, but you will remember some of those moments when you first read those books. Um, like I remember reading the Aeneid in the spring. And so every year in the spring, something in the weather change triggers a part of my brain. And I'm like, I want to read the Aeneid again because
Yeah.
I like associate it with the weather. Like you will remember reading these books for the first time. It stays with you, not just in what you learn, but it becomes a part of you. So just learn to enjoy it.
Okay. And so also for the students who are reading those books for the first time and they have a sense, if they have a sense of like, I got to get all this on my first go, you
Mhm.
have already spoken to like you're encountering,
Yeah.
you're rereading some of those in your program now. What do you think if there's a student who thinks there's no way I'm going to get all this, I have no idea, what encouragement might you offer to them?
I would say that is the best attitude to have going into
Okay.
these books is not thinking that you're going to get everything the first time because you truly aren't. And I remember coming into my freshman year, I had a mix of people who had read classics before and a mix of people who had never seen the Iliad in their life. And honestly, the people who learned the most from the class and from reading it, the people who went into it with the most openness and willing to receive what they could from it. Um, because when you go in with the attitude of, I've read this before, I have it all figured out, I know what the Iliad is about, then you're not going to learn anything from it. So I would say that's the best attitude to have is to be like, I'm not going to get everything. That's really good. Just pick up what you can. And there's always a chance to reread it and just know that there will more and more stuff will present itself to you the more you become a student of the books.
Okay. Beautiful.
I would definitely say to persevere, like even if it's a big bog and mire and you really don't understand it. I had that experience, and I think I was taking honors philosophy with Dr. Haslin. And we
Yes.
were reading, yeah, oh, he's amazing. Shout out to him.
Oh,
uh, we were reading like a whole bunch of different excerpts from different modern philosophers, and it was like way over my head, and I was super bogged down, did not understand anything. And there's a point, there might be that thought in the back of your head, like, what's the point of this if I don't understand it? Like, what am I getting out of this? But really, it's even more fruitful the more challenging something is. We're reading the Nicomachean Ethics in my class this semester. And it's all about virtue and about how the more challenging something is, the more rewarding it will be in the end. And so there is something so fruitful, like Hannah said, about even if you don't understand it, even if it's super hard, even if you don't fully like these things, know that it's like it's fruitful for you, it's beneficial, and it's going to be worth it in the end.
Love that.
That's superb. Yes.
Yeah, I love that Dr. Hassler does that philosophy course. By the way, my son took it a couple of years ago, but that is like drinking from a fire hose because it could take years
Yeah.
to go through those, and he's just giving you the bits and pieces of it and guiding you through.
Oh,
But
yeah. Yeah, I also took that class with Dr. Hassler. And I remember reading, he gave us different sections from the Republic for that class. And like we read stuff like Plato's Cave, and I had no idea what I was reading and had no appreciation for it whatsoever. But we have this really cool tradition in the Honors College that is totally student led because the professors would not have come up with this. Where every fall semester we read Plato's Republic from front cover to back cover in one night. So we all stay
wow,
up in this
Whoa.
classroom where we have seminars and we just take turns reading. We read for the different characters. So I've read the Republic probably 4 or 5 times now, besides reading it in class. And I think like the first time you get it is just like, I have no idea what this is talking about. And it's still, there are times where I'm like, I don't know what he's getting at. But every time I read it, I'm discovering something new in it. So.
Well, and that's how the episode where we met Hannah, Kolbecast episode 93, that was with Dr. Hassler talking about the philosophy
Mhm.
class, and it's called
Yeah.
Good Thinking. So we'll be sure to link that so folks can meet
Yeah.
Hannah in her earlier years. Yeah. Well, very good. That's all very helpful to the students and the parents listening.
One last piece of advice I would add is, especially if you have siblings, make sure to talk with them about what you're learning.
Hmm.
Because that was one of the benefits for me was my brother is a year older than me, and I have a sister who's a year younger than me. So we went through it like one after another, a year in a row, and we just got to have conversations with each other about the classes because we would read the same stuff and then get to talk about it. And that is really helpful to just get to have conversations with other people about the things you read. So I would definitely recommend that as well. Well,
if you don't have a sibling that's there, go pick on your
mhm.
father is what I
Yeah.
would say, because like my kids will talk to me about some of the things they read at times, and it's like, oh, I either haven't read that ever or I haven't read that recently. So it's an encouragement for me to pick it up so I can jump in with those conversations, So, and I love it when they come to chat with me about, hey, we're talking about this, and it's like, oh, that's so cool. I want to find out about it. Yeah.
That's neat. Any other final thoughts or takeaways you want to leave with our listeners, either about Belmont Abbey College or your experience as a Kolbe student transitioning to college, or anything along those lines?
Yeah, you mentioned exciting things happening at Belmont Abbey. Like there's lots of ways in which the school is growing, new opportunities are coming up. So it's a really exciting place to be at right now in its history. So definitely encourage Coley students to check it out because college decisions take some discernment. So you find the school that's good for you ultimately, but definitely worth looking at and considering because it is a wonderful school.
Belmont Abbey there. It sounds like interesting classes, interesting things going on, some beauty there in the campus. And it is in a beautiful area of it's been a number of years since I've been in that part of the country, but loved always coming down out of the Smoky Mountains and getting into that. It's a beautiful area.
I would love to visit. I've only been through the airport once there, so I'll have to fix that. So now I have a good reason to. So
It's also, I've just been rubbing into my family that we're getting the spring weather. We were getting it as early as like end of February, March. And meanwhile, they're still battling with 30-degree weather and snow on occasion. So
oh boy.
the South has got some lovely weather.
There's that too. Yes. That makes a difference when you're out walking to class. Yeah. That's certainly a
Yep.
factor. Yes. Alrighty. Well, our show notes will have links to the school itself, Belmont Abbey College, along with the episode where we met Hannah, episode 93, and other relevant links. So we'll send folks there to check those out after finishing this conversation. Hannah, it's really great to see you again. And Lily, it's lovely meeting you. We appreciate you spending this time with us, and we wish you all the best in your studies and going forward. Please do keep in touch and know of our prayers for you. Thank you both very much.
Thank you so much for having us. It was really awesome to see Stephen's message and to reconnect.
Thank you. This was a true blessing. Get to have another experience at Kolbe again, and it's a true blessing. Give back.
Subscribe to the Kolbecast on your favorite podcast app so that you don't miss an episode. And let us know how we're doing by leaving a rating or a review. And as always, feel free to email us at podcast@kolbe.org.
Mary, our Mother, pray for us. St. Maximilian Kolbe, St. Ignatius of Loyola, holy saints and angels, pray for us. Ad Maiorem Dei Gloriam.